Welcome back tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at the chance of some thunderstorms across parts of the country today once again. Also going to have a look at the latest update from the Beijing Climate Centre. We had an update a couple of days ago. Really quite an alarming update actually, this one, for our summer prospects as we go towards the end of June and into July. I spoke about it on the first Glastonbury update I did on the events page last night, but I thought I'd bring it to a wider audience today because it does look as though if the Beijing Climate Centre is right anyway, and that's the caveat of course, we could see a bit of a deterioration as we go into the latter part of June and through into July. Also going to have a look at the weather for the next 8 to 10 days, so quite a lot going on. But before I get on with the video, just talk about the advertising. There's video ads on my pages at gazweathers.com, and if you hit play on the video ad, you'll be supporting gazweathers.com. Thanks very much for doing that. So this is the latest radar picture from the weatheroutlook.com. We can see we've got two distinct areas of quite heavy rain or thunderstorms, one across the northwestern parts of England, coming down into the north and west Midlands, and across North Wales as well. Also another one coming up into southeastern parts of England, just moving out of the channel. Let's see if there's any lightning contained within those areas of precipitation as we flip over to the lightning detector device and we see that we have got some lightning here across the West Midlands, in particular towards the North Midlands, and going up in towards northwestern parts of England with that area of rain that's up to the northwest. Nothing down in the southeast yet, but I think things could develop down there through the course of this afternoon. We see we have got some very heavy storms over Belgium. By the way, it's really hot across central parts of Europe today. If you want to know more about that, check out the European Outlook on the European page, because we've got some really high temperatures up into the mid-30s across parts of Germany today, well into the 90s Fahrenheit. Very unusual for this early in the summer. Now this is the precipitation forecast from the high resolution Euro 4 model. This is from the website online. You can find a link to weather online on my links page. This is a UK Met Office product. As I say, this is the precipitation forecast for today. This is forecast for lunchtime. We see but two distinct areas, one in the southeast, one across the northwestern parts of England, coming down in towards West Midlands. Let's see how model handles things as we go through this afternoon. Well, things really kick off over in northern England. Could be some heavy showers and thunderstorms there, possibly coming down in towards the North Midlands as well. This area storms down across the southeast, or rain down across the southeast, could pep up, I think, as we go through this afternoon into this evening, possibly producing a few thunderstorms down there. But the action really does look as though it's across northeastern parts of England actually. Overnight up to midnight, those storms trundle off up in towards Scotland, and still around these eastern coasts as well. Elsewhere it's becoming mainly dry. As we go through into Tuesday, we're going to find the showers, particularly in the west, I think, and again pushing through Ireland in towards northern England. So northern England focus for the thundery showers today, and the showers again tomorrow. Now I'm not sure they'll be quite as heavy or as thundery as today, but even so there will be some downpours around across northern England and a large part of Ireland as well through the course of Tuesday. Quite a showery scene coming up there, but down in the south Tuesday should actually stay mainly dry. Now let's have a look at that update that we've had from the Beijing Climate Centre. These are 500 millibar height anomalies, and they're broken down into 10-day periods. So this first 10-day period is the period that we're currently in, taking us from the 6th to the 15th. This is a pretty good representation of the pressure pattern that we've got going on at the moment. Actually, we've got high pressure up to the north and out to the east over here of the country, and then we've got this trough of low pressure in the Atlantic. So we've got the Atlantic trying to bring low pressure, we've got the high pressure to the east trying to bring in easterly winds. So it's a battle, isn't it? We've got the high pressure to the east, the low pressure is out to the west. The low pressure is trying to bring in those westerlies, the high pressure is trying to bring in the easterlies, and it's pretty warm, as we know. That's a pretty good representation of where we're currently at. Now let's see where the model takes things as we go through to the next 10-day period, which takes us from the 16th to the 25th of June, because then we find the high pressure going more up towards Greenland, so hints of northern blocking setting up as we go through into the third week of the month, and this area of low pressure is starting to track underneath it. So that's implies we're going to probably see a deterioration, because we're going to lose the high pressure to the east and the northeast and retrogress or shift it more over towards Greenland. As that happens, we set up a trough underneath it, as we often do when we've got northern blocking. That could turn it increasingly unsettled. It could also turn it cooler, because winds with that are starting to come down more from a north or northeasterly direction. Now the next 10-day period shows a further deterioration. We haven't really got the northern blocking that's easing off up here over Greenland, but look at this trough that's setting up right over the top of the British Isles, a deep trough of low pressure there below average heights at 500 millibars, sitting right over top of the country, taking us from a 10-day period from the 26th of June to the 5th of July. We've got Glastonbury, we've got Wimbledon, lots of events taking place during this period, so that's pretty grim. If that's right, we're looking at a cooler and wetter than average end to June and start to July. We can go right further ahead than that into the middle of July. Actually, we can go from the 6th to the 15th of July, and this is what it indicates then. We get an area of high pressure setting up around Iceland, or above average heights anyway, and we've still got this low pressure, although it's weaker, we've still got it sitting underneath that high pressure across the British Isles, and again the winds are probably coming something like that from the north or northeasterly direction. So that's pretty grim, you have to say, as we go from June into July. The Bayesian Climate Centre is a pretty grim outlook. Now, it's just one model, and it isn't the best model that's out there. I do rate the Bayesian Climate Centre quite high for its seasonal predictions, but for its month-ahead predictions, I don't rate it all that highly, so I wouldn't necessarily be all that concerned about this, but it's just a heads up that things could deteriorate for a while as we get towards the end of June and into the start of July. It'll be interesting to see how that one evolves. I don't think the CFS is really picking up on this just yet, by the way, so Bayesian Climate Centre perhaps on its own with this, and I wouldn't necessarily be all that concerned. Now let's come back to the nearer time before I go. We're going to have a showery period up to middle of the week, then high pressure is going to build up, so this is how we go into Friday the 13th, with high pressure nicely in across the country. It's going to be a nice end to the week, pretty dry, plenty of sunshine and quite warm. As we go into the weekend, though, that high pressure looks like it's going to reposition itself out to the west and the northwest. So maybe, excuse me, maybe this is just the start of that change in the pattern that the Beijing is going for. I wouldn't necessarily say that is the case right now, but it could just be the first indication of it. But nevertheless, we've got this high pressure anyway going out to the northwest of the country next weekend, beginning to pull down cooler northerly winds. That could bring some showers with it to the north and the east, but I don't think there's going to be a tremendous amount of rain over the weekend. The basic idea, or the main point to get across about weekend, is that temperatures will probably be dropping. As we go through to Sunday and then on into Saturday next week, the high pressure is still in control, so it's staying mainly dry, but with this different orientation of the air mass, it will be quite a bit cooler, and temperatures probably going down in towards the mid-teens. It could be a little bit on the side at night. Let's see what it's showing for day 10 on the latest update of the GFS, the 6 o'clock run, and actually it still keeps high pressure there going across the country. Keep this trough of low pressure and the coolest of the air over Scandinavia, so that's not too bad, and potentially by day 10, Thursday the 19th, things could be starting to warm up again, but certainly at the weekend I think we're going to get a bit of a drop in the temperatures. The ECWF is also showing this, is the high pressure in nicely through Friday the 13th, but as we move on to next weekend, the position of the high pressure does change a little bit, pulls just a little bit further to the west, allowing slightly cooler air to start to drift down from the north and the northeast. As we move through into the start of next week, then we may start to bring a trough down from the north, so that could turn it more generally unsettled, particularly in the north and the east of the country. By the time we get through to day 10, Thursday the 19th, well, perhaps signs that pressure's leaking away here. We may well be starting to indicate, or to hint, high pressure beginning to build up over Greenland with a little bit of northern blocking, and these areas of low pressure out in the Atlantic, they could be starting to show signs of riding underneath that high pressure up over Greenland. So that could be starting to get itself into that sort of idea that the Bayesian Climate Centre is indicating, that high pressure up over Greenland and the low pressure beginning to travel underneath it, turning it generally cooler and Unsettled for the latter stages of June. So we have got question marks for the latter stages of June. We've got questions to answer about where this is all going. I think we're going to see, certainly it's going to stay warm up to the middle of June. Over the weekend, we're probably going to see a drop in temperatures, turning it a little bit cooler. Don't be running away with the idea it's going to be cold. It won't be. It's June, so it's not going to be cold at weekend, but it is going to cool off a little bit. Temperatures will drop by a few degrees. And then quite where things go as we move through next week, you're going to have to wait and see. If that high pressure starts to stick up over Greenland, we could begin to deteriorate things quite a bit as we travel through into the latter stages of the month. So all very interesting, all very speculative. More questions than answers, really. We'll have a look at the 8 to 10 day period in more depth tomorrow. So come back for that. But that's all for now. Hope you found the video interesting. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.